Hold on for a second. What's up, YouTube family? I would like you guys to make sure you like and subscribe to our video. It would help us get into the algorithms so we could be seen and bring more engaging content to you guys. So like I said, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Appreciate you. And welcome to another edition of the Pick and Downs podcast. I'm your host, per usual, Sean Tyson, here with Zoo and P. Bush. How you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Just been consuming a lot of NBA as of late, man. And college basketball, we're kind of waiting for the Big Ten tournament. We got the ACC tournament, SEC, so on. But man, I just been watching a lot of Pistons games, Zoo, man. Just watching my boy Cade Cunningham for the fantasy team. You know, I got a nice little MVP future on him at plus 2,000. That's shooting the ranks up to plus 600 now. Shout out that unbelievable Garden performance. I know we're going to be talking about the Knicks here in a bit, but I mean, Zoo, you made a great point, and it's actually the first thing I thought of. Like, the Cade Pistons team is probably the closest team I've seen to the Derrick Rose Bulls team of 2011, just in how they built it. Kind of the one-man army. It doesn't really matter who he has. He's willing his team to win. He was with like a bunch of third-string backup big men
against the Knicks,
and he just absolutely dominated with whoever was out there with him. So he's been a lot of fun to watch. It's a grown-ass man out on the floor, and it's just refreshing to kind of see a new team and a new guy really rise to the top of the league.
Yep. Absolutely. And you mentioned these Pistons remind me of those 2011 Bulls and what I would do for those 2011 Bulls right now, because these 2026 Bulls, some of the worst basketball I've ever seen. Like, I saw them live in person. They were awful. I'm seeing them on TV against teams. Awful. Just awful. Like, obviously the rotation doesn't make any sense. There's like 20 guards on this team, and Yabusele is our starting center. Richards, like, all these guys, just like, this is one of the worst teams in basketball right now. If they did this in the beginning of the year, they would be fighting for the bottom two. A lot of picks right now, because like this roster construction is built to lose. Like, Giddey got no one to pass it to. Like, they got no defense, no nothing. So I'm just watching the games fly by right now for the Bulls right now. The other for the Bulls is lottery balls. Every other team, like, okay, they're prepping for the playoffs. They're getting for big games right now. A lot of young players balling out, but the hometown team is in the struggle bus right now, because this is a tough watching this team. I'm just like,
I'm glad I can't watch them.
Oh man, I'm watching them against the Celtics. I'm like, yo, Jesus Christ, they're down 30. Jesus. Oh my God.
That's a team that is. I think it's not crazy to say that Joe Mazzulla could be coach of the year.
Yeah.
Just because of, and I'm pretty sure that if Detroit keeps doing what they do, it'll be him. But it's like, considering everyone, and I mean everyone, including myself, had them as like a bottom end playoff play-in team, and we're gonna give you your, just due and give you your praise for doing that, to where they could possibly be the number 2 seed is a hell of a coaching job by Joe Mazzulla, who's earning a lot of stripes. And I know a lot of that has to do with Jaylen Brown just taking it up a level, but even still, it's more than just Jaylen Brown. Like, they have a really, really good team. So salute to him. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It may be tough watching these games of your team, but if you can just figure out how to be in the mix when it comes to the end of the season, and you're now looking at your percentage, I don't know how the odds go out, but if you're in a nice little area where you think you're going to end up getting a really good player, especially in that top 5 now, because just a quick hit with college basketball, was watching the, because there's been a lot of discussion with, obviously, Darren Peterson is subbing in and subbing out. But that aside, there's other guys that's been stepping up in terms of, of course, when you're comparing him to what Darren's been doing, and a guy like Darius Acuff, who was apparently in I think he was might have been in a boot. I think they said a brace, but he might have been in a boot. Like, I think 24 hours before the game against whoever it was. And he basically played the entire game and almost had 50. And you just look at how he's moving. Like, to me, it's just Cal. That's the one thing with Cal. Like, a lot of people in Kentucky were sick of Cal. I get it. It's Kentucky, and you feel like you should be in the Final Four every year. But the one thing Cal does great every year is he has a guard. He's going to keep one NBA guard, and that guard is normally going to be an all-star level guy. Like that the Cal is the best at that. So to me, looking at this guy play, it's like, I don't know where he's going to go in the draft, but you're now looking at maybe top 6, 5, 7. And again, like if you're in that range, you're bringing in a guy like that who's going to be a from day one bucket getter. I mean, I know he's 6'3", but in this league, if you're athletic enough, and he's kind of built strong too, so I think he might be a little bit different than just a normal 6'2", 6'3" that's like maybe skinny. But yes, it's if you're losing and you're a fan of a team, I think this is the draft to be. Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, especially if you get a guy. So speaking of teams who will not be, or I guess their franchises are hoping they're not in this position where they're going to be drafted high. The Knicks and the Cavs, two teams that I was thinking about recently, and for good reason. You know, the Cavs made their trade to get James Harden, and with the Knicks, they're still kind of, I guess you would say, working out the kinks with Mike Brown as a new coach. And I kind of just looked at what I just talked about with the Boston Celtics, even though they're overperforming expectations, and the Detroit Pistons, who looks like might end up with the best record in the league, which is pretty insane, but still not proven. So for me, I'm looking at these two teams. It's kind of been battle tested, has been in a lot of wars, and you kind of look at this year as it being open. It's like, hey, this is a year that make or break it. You need to kind of maybe figure it out and see if you can get to the finals. So between these two teams, who do you think could maybe possibly make the finals, and who has the most pressure to make the finals? And Peevish, you can go ahead and attack this one.
I'll tell you right now, man, it ain't one of these two teams I got making the finals out of the Eastern Conference this year. I would not be surprised if the Celtics made it to the finals this year. And that's crazy to say, I know, but we still
especially
don't
if
know
Tatum comes back,
we still don't know the Tatum situation. Obviously, we've always talked about this, but when a good team loses one of their best players and then they kind of try and rush him back, but things have been working, right, without him, sometimes that can throw off chemistry. You'd hope that maybe he could get a couple games in before the playoffs, or at least play in the first round and, you know, face off with, like a 76ers team that is just completely up and down, or even a team like the Magic, right, who are hovering around that 7-8 position. But, you know, between the Knicks and Cavs, I agree. I mean, these are the teams that I've said this for years, man. The Cavs with Donovan Mitchell are just the Utah Jazz. All
right, man.
When he had – come on, man. They always have a great record. How many did they lead the East in record for 2 years?
Last year they were the number 1 seed, 64 wins.
And weren't the year before they were top 2? Something like that?
No, they were top 4.
Top 4, okay.
But last year was the year it was very similar to the Utah Jazz winning like the 60 plus.
And I'll continue to say this. And I think you guys have both given me flack on it because I love watching Donovan Mitchell. I think he's a great player. I don't think he is a number 1 option on a NBA Finals winning team. He's not a champion first. He's not Dwayne Wade. He's not a Dwayne Wade. He's not, you know, there's so few that you think Donovan Mitchell's like in that category. I really don't see it. Jaylen Brown's been having a better season. I mean,
wait, let me ask you. Do you think Jalen Brunson is?
No. This is where I'm going.
I'm trying to think of another guard.
I don't think either of these two number 1 options on these two teams are championship level number 1 options. Jalen Brunson got his pay bag and got that trade and everything because he took over when Luka got hurt, but he did it with no expectations, no pressure, none of that. We've seen Donovan Mitchell have major success in the regular season when there's no pressure. You know, he made it relatively far with the Jazz, but not to the Western Conference Finals. He hasn't made the Eastern Conference Finals with the Cavs. Mobley, Jared Allen. I love Mobley, and I agree he's a great player, but his health is a concern. His numbers are actually down year over year. I know he's been a little bit unhealthy. Jared Allen is just a poor man's version of Rudy Gobert, right? And now they bring in James Harden, who is just an older but a little bit better version of Darius Garland, right? I know he's obviously a way better version, but he's also a lot older.
I think he's a way better passer.
He's a way better passer. I agree. But I'm saying another combo guard, man. And it was a desperation move. I think we all kind of read through that, hey, you know, you got to do it in a year like this, to your guys' both points. This is a wide open year in the East. You might as well go for it. He is a rental, right? But at the same time, it's like, is that really going to put them over the top against a super disciplined team in Boston? kind of a hungry team in Detroit Pistons. Not saying the Pistons are going to make it all the way to the finals, but I just don't see the Cavs making that much noise. And I don't know if it's on Donovan Mitchell entirely, because he's an unbelievable scorer. And he's got the wingspan too. He's not an undersized guy, even though he is only 6'2". But I just don't see this team getting over the hump. And on the Knicks side, if I'm picking between the two, I think the Knicks have way more pressure, mostly because of the franchise, the city that they're in. The Cavs, they got theirs with LeBron, man. They got it, right? They could always get Father LeBron to come back for his final year next year. Lord knows what's going to happen. And then, if they make the finals, then congratulations. But, you need a 41-year-old LeBron James to do it. But, but on the Knicks side, that team is not changed at all. They lost Precious Achiuwa might be their only loss, right?
Yeah.
Year over year. So the only change that they made was the head coach. And one of the big reasons that we all thought that they lost that Eastern Conference Finals was their fatigue, right? Mikal Bridges was playing, 46 minutes a game.
Yep.
And then they bring Mike Brown in, and he's a good head coach. We've seen him have success, more so with LeBron than anyone else, but he did have that Kings team that people forget about, that almost gave Steph Curry a true run for their money, taking them 7 games a couple years ago in 2022. But if you look at the minutes per game played, and I know it's just regular season, all that, they're not down that much. Like Jalen Brunson might be playing right around the same amount of minutes per game. Mikal Bridges, I think, had the biggest drop-off in minutes at 3 minutes per game. I know that can add up, and maybe we are expecting them to have a deeper run this year. But this team has not changed a single bit. And just the same point you asked me, is Jalen Brunson a guy that you think could lead a team to the finals? I really don't think he can. He doesn't play any defense. He gets absolutely exposed. But you need him on the floor at the same time to be your main scorer. Karl Anthony Towns, he's a great player, man. He's a great player. And I do love Mikal Bridges. He's an unbelievable, one of the better two-way players in the league, that's for sure. OG Anunoby, inconsistent. But when he's dropping 20 a game, they're 15-3, something like that. So, I mean, they're very reliant, and they didn't make any changes. And sometimes that is what you have to do as a team, is say, hey, they're pretty much saying the only reason that we lost to the Pacers last year was because of Tom Thibodeau. That's what the perception of this team is. And I think, okay, that's great. But man, the Pacers, they beat you in 6 games. They beat you 4-2. This wasn't a game 7 grinded out. You blew games to Aaron Nesmith going Ray Allen mode.
Berserk. He went berserk.
On the road, he was doing that. And so I just don't see this team getting over the hump. Either one of these two. Could they make it this year? Sure. They could make the finals. I don't see either one of these teams winning it. And I think we'd all agree with the Western Conference the way it is. The winner will likely come from the West. But to make it out of the East this year and make it to the finals, I wouldn't be like, wow, they beat some great teams, to come through this. I wouldn't be like thoroughly impressed, if that makes sense. But in short, I just think the Knicks have way more pressure. They made their first Eastern Conference Finals in a quarter century last year. They haven't made the finals since '99, which was a lockout year. People forget about that, with Allen Houston and company. So, I just think they have a lot more pressure. They got the media, they got the fan base that's really way more coverage on the New York Knicks than on the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I keep seeing this one tweet, man. It's like, oh, now that the Cavs have traded for James Harden, so like this woman thinks that they're the finals favorites. And I'm like, every time I see that tweet, I'm like, no, they're not finals favorites. Like,
finals favorites.
Yeah. There's a report. I'll send it to you guys. I'll find it and send it to you guys. So, yeah, I mean, if you're talking pressure, I think it's the Knicks. But we're going to have to start having a conversation about Donovan Mitchell, because no one talks.
There's a lot of guys. Yeah, you're right.
There's a lot of guys.
I can't ignore it.
There's a lot of guys, but he's had some extremely talented teams, not perfect teams.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay, these teams were getting 50-plus wins. That's a good team. That is a very good team.
When your second best player is Rudy Gobert for most of your career, man.
Anthony Edwards' second best player is Rudy Gobert.
That's fair. Julius
Randle.
He's gotten to a Western Conference Final.
Western Conference Final.
Twice.
Okay.
But we all agree Ant is better than Donovan, though. So, I mean,
of course. That's fair. And that's why Ant is a guard that I could see leading a team to an NBA Final someday, right? But Donovan Mitchell's only going to get less athletic the older that he gets. He's in his prime right now. He needs to be winning. And he's got the most primed path this year in the East. He could do it. but he's going to need to average like a Dwayne Wade year, where he's averaging at least 35 a game in the playoffs. And that's a lot to ask because you're asking him to do that for 3 rounds and then doing it in the NBA Finals. So I think they both have pressure. I just think the Knicks just get way more attention, and their fan base would just throw riots because they didn't make any moves, right? They said, we're set with the way we are. We think we can win with this team. And if they don't, you got to revisit this whole lineup.
Mm-hmm. I think you mentioned this as far as pressure, right? Next year, LeBron James is not going back to the Lakers, man. Mm-hmm. Based on all news, LeBron ain't going back. And if I'm looking at storyline and LeBron media, I'm coming home again. That's what he's doing. He's going to announce his retirement. Like, this is my last season.
I agree.
You're going to be putting that P. Diddy song, I'm coming home. Scott,
tough choice.
Wait, what?
It's still a banger of a song. But it's going to be played regardless. Maybe cut out the P. Diddy part. But the main part. But part 2 is going to happen. Like, I already could see it.
Yeah.
I can envision it. Even with all, like, you got D. Mitch, who's, like, kind of like, I would say, like, the Kyrie Irving guy. He's the small combo guard shooting who makes big shots, makes big threes. He's athletic. Like, he's in that Kyrie Irving role. You get Bron. Bron, obviously not Bron, like, 2016 Bron, but I think he's more going to be, like, a reserve role and play that. I would say more close to that small forward, power forward role where he's going to be kind of just be picking his spots and doing his thing. And then he could kind of just let Harden be the point guard of the team and let rest LeBron because he can be 40 plus years old. And I'm telling you, man, in his last year, you know what he likes about a good storyline, man. All the eyes are going to be on him. And you know LeBron likes the eyes on him, man. You know he loves the attention. Like LeBron loves the ESPN attention. And you going back and they're going to probably film like a documentary of his homecoming.
Oh, the doc is definitely coming.
Oh, yeah, the documentary, Return of the King. Return of the King. This ain't Lord of the Rings, man. But this is LeBron James, man. And if he wins a championship returning to Cleveland, oh, that's going to get an Oscar of that documentary. Are you kidding me? So I'm telling you, he's bringing LA Hollywood back to Cleveland, and that's what's going to happen. So,
but not this year.
Not this year. This year with the pressure, I'm like, this is kind of like a mock trial with James Harden. See how he does in the playoffs, even though we've seen this story before. Yes. James Harden in the regular season, he puts up numbers. Like I'm like, dang, he's putting up 24 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, like making Jared Allen look awesome with this beautiful passes and alley-oops. Like he just does the same thing every single year in the regular season. And those playoffs, he just has those games where he has like the worst game of the entire season, just in like a game 7. So like the disappearing act has been a repeated history. So I feel like that's something that James Harden needs to prove that he get over the hump. But I feel like this year is kind of like a mock season because he came in like mid-trade. So they're still trying to get chemistry. So for me personally, this is a trial right now. Next year is when they're gonna put all the chips in, they'll get a Bron, and okay, now let's win a championship right now. So for me personally, it is all on the New York Knicks because this is the year to get it. When they traded 5 first-round picks from Mikal Bridges, like they unloaded the clip to go all in on this roster.
Yep.
Like that's when you're like, okay, well, we're all in. Like they couldn't. Giannis Antetokounmpo was out there last summer, and he was looking like potentially the Knicks, but obviously the Knicks didn't have enough assets because they went all in on getting Bridges. So that was an opportunity where there was this legitimate superstar out there. They passed on him and went for Bridges. Like, we can win with this roster right now with Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby. Like, this is the roster, Josh Hart. This is the roster that can get it done. So they put all their chips in the middle, and that's something I truly believe you got to do to win an NBA championship. You got to go all in. And they went all in. And last year where they beat the Celtics, I was like, they beat the Celtics. And I know Tatum got injured, but they were destroying them before Tatum left with that injury. Yep. Like, they were annihilating. I was like, this is I'm watching a New York Miracle right now beating the Boston Celtics, the champions. And then you lose to the Pacers in just poor fashion. I'm just
no, man. Oh, yeah. 6 games. You're
right. It was a pretty good series, but Pacers beat them. Pacers are the better team. And you're as you mentioned, they're reshuffling the deck and they're just taking out the head coach, right? So Mike Brown with his organization, like with this roster, and watching this team, I'm like, it kind of just reminds me of last year's team.
Yep.
Like even like the result and even the play style, even offensively, the creativity. I don't know about you. I don't really see it. The creativity is a lot of just Brunson doing his own thing, isolation, which is great. He's one of the best isolation players in basketball, but we saw the ceiling then in the playoffs and need a little more creativity on offense. And Karl-Anthony Towns is one of those bipolar players where he has games where he's just awesome. Full confidence, hitting threes, going people isolation, driving to the basket, putting up 30 points. And then he has those games where he gets some foul trouble and he has you're looking at the stats. I'm like, this dude got 2 points and 4 rebounds and it's the third quarter doing absolutely nothing. So, he's their second option. So I'm looking at this roster right now. If you lose it in a year with Halliburton, who's out, with Tatum, I'm projecting he's not coming back this year. With Kate Cunningham with a bunch of young boys over there in Detroit and Jaylen Brown with no Tatum, I'm like, this is your competition right now. I'm seeing look at the players right now. You got Toronto Raptors. Nobody expected Toronto Raptors to make any noise this year with Scottie Barnes and Brandon. So that's just a nice young core over there. They're trying to build something over there. So they're definitely not championship contenders. So I'm looking at the plan right now. This is the year to get it done because if you don't win it this year, I don't think they win it any year. This is the one opportunity because based on what I'm projecting, I think Brown going to go back east because the East is a lot easier and coming back home with Cleveland. I'm like, okay, that's, I would say, as a finals favorite if Brown goes back to Cleveland right now with those. Yeah. You heard me. In the East.
41-year-old LeBron's putting the Cavs over the top.
In the East, yeah, 100%. 100% with that roster, depending on if they don't lose significant pieces.
Asinine.
I would say they'd be a top 3 seed, but not a final. I'd have to see it, watch it.
I'm taking them in the East.
If Tatum doesn't play in the playoffs and he rests, I think the Celtics are easily still a better team.
Easily, I don't know. Achilles. I know Kevin Durant did it. I'm going to project that Tatum is not going to be as good as Tatum first year coming back from an injury.
Like Durant, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like it's coming from the most catastrophic injury in sports. So I'm projecting that he's not going to be putting up 28 a game coming off that injury.
Agreed.
And even the Celtics right now, something about Tatum. Tatum's a great player. The value add with this Boston Celtics roster, I don't think he adds that much more upside. Because they won with Tatum. They won with Tatum playing poorly. He played really, really bad in the finals, and they were still able to win, showing that how great that team around him is. And right now, they're proving it even more because they just regrouped and got rid of all their role players, and they still regrouped together. And the pieces over there just kind of fit perfectly for some reason.
Yeah.
Look at Peyton Pritchard just balling over there, man. I'm just Derek White, all these guys are just kind of these are just guys. But in that Boston system that they built, it just fits perfectly, and they just know how to play high IQ basketball. Where
it does, I will say though, real quick, it's going to be interesting in the playoffs because playoffs are different in terms of this might be just they're overachieving and playing hard because they know Tatum's out in this regular season. But if Tatum doesn't come back in the playoffs, it would be interesting to see when you have to game plan for someone like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown, you're going to secure all your guys.
Pritchard, are they going to be able to make shots when it matters? So I'd have to still see that, before whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah, regular season playoffs, a lot more difference. Defensive game plan for you. It's every weakness, and everybody knows Jaylen Brown's weaknesses. You're going to make him go to that position, use that one hand, and make him dribble and create for his teammates because he's a scorer. He's not much of a creator, or a ball handler. So he has weaknesses in his game. So we'll see how he does in the playoffs. But as I mentioned, man, this is the Knicks year to make it to the finals. It was my preseason pick for them to make it because I think the roster went all in. Obviously, the coaching right now, to be honest, Mike Brown, I haven't really seen that impact right now.
Yep.
And obviously, that's the regular season where in the regular season, I see that Tom Thibodeau impact because his team just plays 1,000%. But in the playoffs, let's see, I can see that Mike Brown impact. But right now, my stock on the Knicks are a little down after watching a couple more games of the Knicks right now, especially that Pistons game was kind of shocking to me. That was a shocking game because I watched that game and I was like, this is a game that they took it personally because the Pistons owned them. And then they're without Dern or Stewart, and they destroyed them. It wasn't even a competitive game. I was like, what is going on? And they were at home in MSG, and they were trying hard. It wasn't like the effort wasn't there. And they were trying hard, and they still got destroyed.
They got to Brunson. Got to Brunson.
Yeah, Brunson just his weakness is, I don't know, the Pistons, because I don't know, Cade is just kind of his kryptonite, but the matchup over there, they somehow right now, they're in the 2-3 right now. I don't really think I want to have the Knicks play the Pistons in the playoffs right now.
No.
Maybe and maybe the conference finals. But matchup wise, I feel like the Pistons somehow just match up really, really well with this roster. But yeah, but this is the year of it. It makes them this year. I don't think they're gonna make the finals with this roster. That's what I believe.
Agreed.
I agree. Like it was going to be the Knicks, but I can kind of maybe argue Cavs. Again, all the points you may do about LeBron coming back is a factor because I do think too that that's probably 90% done. It's just the other 10% is just ending out this season and then getting the press releases ready to shoot it out to whoever's willing to read it. But yeah, with the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell, it has been an up and down experience because we all thought when he got traded to the Cavs on first glance is like, well, all of this talent that he has on the team may not fit as well, but because it's just so many guys, eventually they're going to figure out and start making a run. And I know with him and Darius Garland, they're two smaller guards, even though, like you said, Donovan Mitchell's not a small guard, but they're just in height, they're short.
Yeah.
And Darius Garland really is just an undersized two. So that kind of was the first rough patch. And then when they got Mobley, which was a great pick, it's kind of more so like, okay, Mobley is a more of a hub center forward, whatever hybrid type, where I think he would really benefit if he was like on a team where he could just have everything run through him because he's just more of that type of guy versus, if you're Donovan Mitchell, you're maybe wanting two twin towers who are more defensively inclined. Like if he had two Jared Allens, I almost think they would be maybe a better team. Not saying that Mobley, like losing him would be beneficial, but it's just like in terms of for Donovan Mitchell's like style, having two guys back there who are just rough and rugged, who can protect Donovan if he gets beat off the dribble, things like that, and with lobs, and also too with James Harden being the point now, that's his bread and butter is coming off of pick and rolls and know how to read a defense and getting up lobs or getting pocket passes and things of that nature. So Mobley, while I think he's a great player, is still kind of a weird fit. But with all that being said, again, like I just brought up with the Boston Celtics, man. Like I do enjoy what they're doing. They're overachieving. I think, again, Joe Mazzulla needs to be in the coach of the year consideration.
Yep.
Got to see it in the playoffs. Like Tatum's coming back, but two things could go against you in that. Like he could come back and it's hooray, hurrah, and then he comes in and messes up the flow. Or he doesn't come back at all. And now, like you said, dude, like you're game planning against Jaylen Brown. I don't know how successful that's going to be because now you're telling me, okay, Peyton Pritchard and Jordan Walsh are guys that's just going to get 20 and 15 points now. Like I don't see that at all. And if they do, then I'll be completely wrong. But I think they could see a second round ceiling. I could see that, right? Like I said, Toronto, they're a deep team, but I think he's a great scorer. And Toronto's one of those teams where if they looked into like a top 3 or top 4 pick, they could be really scary because they're another team that's just got a bunch of just versatile six. I feel like everybody on the roster is 6'7" and just could do a lot of everything.
They're Florida State.
Weird. Yeah, literally just a bunch of guys, switchable guys who can dribble and can get to the rim and shoot a little bit. And then obviously the other teams like Orlando and whoever, it's just whatever happens with them. But this is again a team or a space where you got an experienced guard, Donovan Mitchell. As bad as James Harden's been in the playoffs, he's been to a finals when he was at OKC. So he's had to at least show like he can show on his report card like he's got like 12 Ds, but he's got that
years ago.
Yeah, he's got like 12 Ds, but he's got the 1A that he made like years ago. And it's like, so you show potential. Like you could see like in a world where maybe the pressure's off him because he's in the East, the teams are not as tough and he maybe blossoms. But regardless of the fact, you got to show and prove, like Zoo would say, in full LeBron, because it's like, obviously, these two guys, saying if LeBron comes to Cleveland next year, they're going to be on the team. And any LeBron James-led team, regardless of how old he is, you got to raise your level. So it's like this is a perfect opportunity for these guys to maybe make a run. And I want to say, like, I think it could have been a real possibility, which is crazy to say, I know. But I think if they don't run into that buzzsaw with Indy, because Indiana was literally a buzzsaw. Nobody predicted them to do what they did to Cleveland. To like, it was just like a continuous buzzsaw that nobody. It's like you can't stop it. You just got to get out of the way of it. It's just you, and hopefully it doesn't run anything else over. That was such an anomaly in terms of like how insane of a run they made. I do love to see, and I always say, like in an alternate universe, if Cleveland was able to get through that series, like maybe they make the finals like the next year. Because I don't know, like, would you pick the Knicks over them?
Over
if
the Cavs?
The Cavs would have got to the Knicks last year, is it like a complete? They're like, yeah, the Knicks were just gonna 5 games.
Oh yeah, I would take the Knicks.
Yeah, I would have taken the Knicks. Because, dude, Mitchell averaged 32 in that series in a gentleman. This wasn't a game 7 against the Pacers. They got gentleman swept as the number 1 seed. He averaged 32 on 42% shooting from the field, and I think around or under 30% from 3. He did
not have his best efficiency series.
He was off.
No,
I do think though,
and his backcourt mate was also injured too. So it's
for 2 of the games, he played the first 3,
and he was just not himself. Like
him not himself.
Okay, but once again, this was not a 7-game series.
But Garland was just not himself.
It was not a 7-game series.
And I didn't want to bring up the injuries because I mean it is it does matter, but it's like you got gentlemen swept to people's point. Like if you guys were that good and he came back, then you could maybe get it to 7. Yes. But if everyone goes into the series healthy and Donovan Mitchell doesn't feel the need to have to, because now you do have a bona fide scorer in James Harden. And I know like the thing is with James Harden is he doesn't play well in like games that matter, but like he's not like a negative player. Like he puts up points in the playoffs. It's just he doesn't play the best when it matters. And to me, I think both of those guys, which I don't think we could, I mean, Donovan Mitchell didn't have a good playoff last year, but like efficiency-wise, but maybe both of those guys being on the table where I think Donovan could trust that James Harden is going to be the point and going to be able to create and be able to score for himself and handle his own, and that maybe will alleviate the pressure with Donovan. I think that could maybe bring out another side. I'm just thinking that, like, for me, I don't look at the Knicks as like more pressure because I just don't see it. Like, I don't think they can get to the finals. I just don't. I think Cat is a big reason of that too. Cat is on that verge of, he's maybe got 1 or 2 more years of like pump fake, draw a foul, get to the line because he's shooting so well, seasons left. Because I think eventually that step is going to get slower, and like he's shooting a little bit better, I think, these past 2 months or whatever. But early in the season, he was not shooting well at all. And it's kind of like, but any of these bigs, it don't matter if you're super athletic or you're ground pound big, like you're going to see it with Jokic maybe in the next couple of years. Like it's a physical position, and it's just you age faster. Joel Embiid, I mean, he's been hurt his entire career, but most of these guys just age poorly. And, you know, if you were to ask Knicks fans, like they love Jalen Brunson and they like his dad probably because his dad is part of the reason why they got Jalen Brunson. But it's like, if you had the possibility way back when, we don't know if Giannis was going to leave, but if you had the possibility of pairing Jalen and Giannis, I just kind of feels like that would have been a better matchup, and just figure out the other spare parts around it. Because I know people want to say this team's a little bit more deeper and things like that, but there's nobody on this team that legitimately scares me but Jaylen Brown. Not Jaylen Brown, but Jalen Brunson. So it's kind of like with the Cavs, at least. Like, I know Donovan had his year last year, but I think he could kick up. Like, Mobley's a guy who can maybe take over a game or two. And I just think talent-wise, they have more talent than the Knicks. To me, it feels like high-end talent.
Interesting.
Because I think it's Jalen, like, to me, if we're doing a draft for draft, I know Donovan Mitchell's been whatever. People probably take Jalen Brunson first. Then it's like, I'd rather have Donovan Mitchell than whoever the Knicks got. James Harden, I know he's old. He was in a fat suit a couple years ago, but it's like his effectiveness and how he plays on the court, like I'd rather have that than just spot up OG, or maybe the defense is nice. I don't know. Mikal Bridges, Evan Mobley, probably would rather have Mobley. Like
Cat?
But Mobley over Cat?
No, like you haven't even mentioned Cat, so you're putting him like 6th overall.
I think to me it's like Cat, you just know what he's a 3-point shooting. Yeah. He's a wing who's not athletic. Like if he was at big where it felt like to me you're guaranteed 12 rebounds and he's going to be effective stuff on the defensive side of the floor, I'd be more interested in him. But to me, he is a 7-foot shooting wing who, if he's under the basket and your guard's driving towards him, he'll be able to affect the shot. But it's just not enough for me. And I just don't see it aging as well. And I know what that's talking in the future, but to me, I just like and prefer more of the Cavs players. So I think there is more of an added pressure of like, okay, Donovan, you've had a lot of talent. Let's start figuring out what you need to do in the playoffs. Like James Harden, yeah, you play okay in the playoffs, but you normally choke. You got to stop doing that. There is, to me, more added pressure because you also don't make that move being like, okay, we're just hoping for LeBron next year. Like you make that move because you see there's an opening in the East and you need to get to it. And James Harden is a productive player as much as his as many flaws as he has. So, like what was Mobley? Mobley was the what? Number 2 or 3 pick? What was he?
I
think he was 3.
I can't remember.
Number 3.
Like high pick, Donovan was later first round, whatever. But these are guys with elite backgrounds. Like Jared Allen, I think was the first round pick. God, we got to see something. We got to see something.
Exactly.
And honestly, man, like to Zoo's point, it is so wide open. Like you got to take over. Donovan Mitchell, if you want to be considered one of the premier guards to ever play the game, like you got to get to the finals. Brunson, you can almost more make an excuse of like he's overachieving. You can make that. You can be like he's overachieved. So I don't know if there's New York has always had the pressure, but I don't know if it's like a Donovan Mitchell where there was a lot of people screaming that you should have won Rookie of the Year, and ever since that year, you just proved that you're an elite 2 guard. So we need you to. Remember when he played in the bubble and how him and Jamal Murray, they were going insane. Like you would have thought Donovan Mitchell was going to be like basically the second best, like where Anna is kind of being perceived right now, like just that second 2 guard or third 2 guard in the league. So it's like this is the perfect opportunity with the pressure that's going to be added of you need to go make that run and at least get to a finals. It's the same thing with Luka. It's like as talented as Luka was, he got that Mavs team to a finals. I know they got smacked by Boston, but he got them there, hook or crook. I need Donovan to be at least put on there because I do think if he just gets to a finals with this roster, it's great. Like it's gravy because no one's expecting him to be like a perennial. You got to win, give me 2 or 3 rings. Like nobody's thinking that with Donovan Mitchell, but like as talented as he is,
exactly. He's not thought of as a number 1 option on an NBA Finals team. Exactly. That's exactly
a lot of those. It's unfair though because those guards. I know he's not a small guard, but it's like what guard is like Cade, and he's a big body guard.
No, he's way big.
No, I know, but my point is that the Cavs have built around him as a number 1 option, and that's I'm saying that's just wrong. I'm saying that's just wrong. You can't do that.
If you're a GM, if you're a GM in this league,
you can
who's done it? You guys were hating on Kyrie last year. Obviously, it was because of Luka, right? In the finals. I mean, you're not.
No, I'm saying now, going forward, like now, I think back in the day, like a guy but Kyrie's such an anomaly too because he's just he's the greatest finisher at the basket and has the greatest handle. So he's like he has 2 anomaly traits where you can get away with probably building around him.
If Allen Iverson can't do it, one of the greatest undersized guards. Exactly, but he didn't win. But he did not win, right? And I just think I just don't understand how an organization's like, we're getting behind this 6'2" pure scoring combo guard, and we're going to win.
Because he's an all NBA caliber guy.
Yes, he will make.
Because if you look at the NBA right now, he's a top 10 player.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unless you have a Jokic or an SGA or Luka or Giannis or one of these guys that are MVP guys,
they're all above 6'5".
These second-tier superstars. If you have one of them, you got to build around them.
I agree.
You got to build around them because there's only a couple of those pantheon great guys that are the prototype. You need one of those guys to win championship. If you don't have one of them, you got to try to use the.
Philly's going to run into this. Philly's going to run into this problem too.
As
much as we love all this, to people's point, I do get like the cycle of the small guard. Like we get excited when they first get in the league.
Yep.
They get a grace period for like 4, 5, 6 years or whatever, and then once they unexpectedly, or like the year they're supposed to go to the finals, and they unexpectedly get bounced in the second round, it's like, okay, like what are they clutch or are they any good? And a lot of that is due to the size of the guard. And I agree too with people. It's like you even if as talented as Donovan is, you either have to be flawless as a GM in terms of how you're building around. And it's not just talent. It's about fit to what the guard's efficiencies is, what he's great at, what can excel him even more. Like you can't just trade and I'm not saying they did this, maybe they did, but I don't know for sure. But you can't just trade for a guy like Donovan Mitchell and be like, well, because he's on the cusp of being a top 10, top 15 player, he'll just figure it out. It's like, yeah, if Donovan Mitchell is 6'6" or 6'7", well, he's affecting, hell, if he's just Anthony Edwards like height, like you kind of just assume and know that it's going to just work out, because in those playoff games, we talk about this every year. I mean, we talk about it every year on this podcast. It always comes down to the guys who are 6'6", 6'7". They're making plays at the end. They're up 4, and everybody's tired, and they're just figuring out how to make a basket and draw a foul, and it just works out because it's just you're able to get that momentum of doing that. And
it's what Siakam did last year when Halliburton got injured. He carried him. I mean, he had to.
He figured it out.
And Tyrese is like, that's the thing. Yeah. This Pacers, people are saying, oh, yeah, they were a buzzsaw. Dude, they almost took down one of the best teams ever.
Yeah, without their best player.
Yeah, the regular season. Yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
And
so, I don't blame the Cavs or Knicks to losing to them because they were just hot. But let's not put it past. I know Garland was injured, but this Cavs team is not much different. It's pretty much the same exact team, and they lost, Ty Jerome?
They just have Harden.
Right? And they got Harden instead of Garland. And
they do have I like Jalen Tyson a lot. Their role players are a little bit – I like Tyson a lot. He's nice.
Tyson is nice.
And I do like their two bigs. Like, really what could shift this conversation – we're the next topic. But if Mobley could just maybe – tap into that third pick overall and just take over a game or two, that could really change their alteration of like their look. It could change the outlook.
Yeah.
Because honestly, what you would want is Mobley being like the dude and Donovan supporting him. Because Mobley is the 6'11" guy that could maybe shoot a three, get to the basket. Like you would
the Kobe to Shaq early on.
Yeah.
Walmart version.
Yeah, his comp was supposed to develop into Kevin Garnett. Yeah.
Yep.
He is not. Offensively, he's
not the same.
Kind of more.
That's why I said
more Bam out of bio.
That's a great comparison.
Let me tell you, if they switched and Bam was on that team and he was, I don't know if him and Jared Allen could work. I think that would change their whole perspective because Bam is more of a. Because Bam is, people talk about Bam like he's just he's a really good offensive player. He's got touch, he can shoot, and now he's kind of, I mean, I know he's probably not shooting great from three, but he could, if he practiced that, he could shoot that. I've always said he's had the highest, like, just from where he came into the league, because I always go, and I know it's AAU basketball, but like people were talking when he went to Kentucky, he's like, oh, he's there. Everybody was Dennis Smith Jr. and this wing and all this stuff. Everybody was, and Bam just like, even at Kentucky, he was with De'Aaron Fox, and people were like, De'Aaron Fox, like he's taking over the league. Like Bam Adebayo, cool, you're gonna get picked and whatever. But De'Aaron Fox is really good. But like Bam quietly has just been like, oh, I'm just gonna keep getting another max. I shoot well. I went to a finals. I was playing with Jokic, even though Jokic destroys everybody, but like I was keeping up with him. Like Bam is a really good player. I just think he don't have a lot of guys around him in Miami, so it's like he kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But like, I think Bam could be a dude that if he was on that type of team, he would be really, really good. Because like
he lifestyle though, for sure, you can tell he loves it down there.
Yeah, and I think eventually they'll probably get a guy down there with him. So
they need Hero. We'll see.
Yeah, Hero has to get healthy as well.
Jimmy Butler. The minute he left that franchise, went to the Bulls territory, the play-in tournament.
You aren't wrong.
And it went to Golden State, and I know he got injured this year, but like for what?
Yeah.
Cool. But that was great chemistry they had. So we'll see what both of these teams. It's about 22, 23 games left, and see what they get. This is going to be really interesting how they all get seeded too. That's going to be an interesting.
Going to be super important.
Yeah, how they all seed out. So, but shifting to our last topic, still NBA related. I kind of want to get more into at least 2 out of 3 of these teams I was looking at, and I was kind of thinking to myself, like, okay, obviously they're going to be in the playoffs. The Hornets are surging. Maybe they end up eventually getting into. But I was just thinking about these are 2 or 3 teams where I see a lot of talent where you really can't pinpoint. I mean, we all know who like the main faces, I guess you could say, of the teams are. But it's like you kind of look at it and it's like, these guys got a lot of guys who, if maybe one person gets extra minutes, maybe they could become a bigger factor. Or there's a guy that's like, maybe he's a 2, not a 1. There's just a lot of guys where it's like, who can you potentially pin down as the guy? So I kind of phrase this question as, if you're a GM and let's just say all three of these teams make the playoffs and they get bounced in the second round, whatever. Players are going to start, murmuring, agents going to start talking, and there's a lot of guys that's going to be fielding calls, and they're going to be looking at each player on their team, and it's like, okay, maybe this guy, I can trade this guy here, I can maybe move this guy here, do this. But there's going to be one guy on that team where if a team calls for him, they're going to be like, nope, untouchable, we're not touching it. If you call me again and ask me about this player, I'm blocking your number, pretty much. So, I guess we can just start out with Houston. And we'll go from Houston to, you can just do whatever order you want. We can start with Houston. Which player is untouchable where you're not trading that guy if they call about him?
It's a fascinating thing because Houston is in a situation where you have the veteran guy in Kevin Durant and his burner phone. And you got the young players right now. So it's kind of a mix of young guy with a little veteran presence. So they're kind of trying to win, but I don't think they tried to go in a situation of win now, but then they lost their point guard. Like I remember the minute I'm not the biggest Van Fleet fan.
We know.
Like,
oh yeah, Kyle Lowry 2.0.
You guys said small guard, but this guy shoots like 35% from the field. I'm sorry, he might be a great leader, great veteran presence, can settle the core on offense. He's a low efficiency scorer. And he shoots 30% from the field, but. Yeah. They do need a point guard for that team to settle down that team to get everybody organized because there's a lot of different mouths to feed on that offense. As Kevin Durant's like, I don't want Jabari Smith. What's that guy doing over there? Like, what's Şengün doing in this isolation? So he needs a point. Kevin Durant is not a passer. He's not a playmaker. He's a scorer. So he needs a complimentary point guard to get people in their spot and get everybody be happy. Right. So it's a very, very interesting roster right now where they got some young players. But as we mentioned briefly, like it's definitely not Jabari Smith because like Jabari Smith, he got a fat contract. I think it might be
he's a 3-and-D guy, basically.
Yeah, like I think it's an overpay. He got $100+ million. Like that's an overpay. He's a nice player, but like he's a nice player and he might be a good compliment for another team, but that's an overpay right there. But they got some young players on that roster where I'm like,
no,
because I'm gonna throw one obvious one and one more of a low key one, but I'm like, I'm gonna listen a little, but I don't really want to touch him. But the first one obviously is Amen Thompson, right? Because he just got to figure out that jump shot. He's a jump shot away from being a superstar, but I feel like he's never gonna develop that jump shot, and he might just be like a Ben Simmons, but he's more of an alpha, right? He just like. Never able to develop this game, but he could do everything else and become. He's a 6'7", 200 like. He's a combo guard, super fast, super elite defensively. Has the mentality of like a physical basketball player. One thing I really really like in the playoffs is physicality. Like physicality is when some guys like with the Cavs boys up there, like Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, they're just not physical bigs. They're soft.
They're a little quiet. Yeah.
Cat, like the lights were too bright. Like the physicality is something I like about the Pistons. They got, man, give me Isaiah Stewart, give me Dart, give me those boys, man. Like I like everybody. That physicality, like imposing that will on them. Because a lot of time in the playoffs, everybody's tired. It's always the guy who's the biggest, strongest guy with that extra effort, get that extra rebound, that extra possession. Because at the end of the game, people are dying. Just pray your superstar gets it done. And you need to bring that physicality. And Amen Thompson got that body and prototype of when he's in the playoffs. Oh, I know what I'm getting. Like, obviously, he's not a shooter, and he needs to learn how to shoot. They need to find that Lonzo Ball shooting doctor and fix that form and get a jump shot. Because if Lonzo Ball can fix that broken shot, Amen Thompson can fix his shot because his splits from the field, obviously not as bad as his brother because he's a 78% free throw shooter. So that's a pretty good indicator of how low of a shooter is. But 19%. I'm sorry, that's inexcusable. 19, not 29.
Maybe if he had a point guard, he might shoot better.
Yeah, maybe set him up a little more. Like, don't allow him to run athletic.
He runs point a lot.
Yeah,
like he runs point,
and that might be what they're trying to do with him. I don't know.
I don't reach. I'm a big Reed Shepherd guy, so I feel like he might be the future point of the roster.
Undersized guard. Here we go. 6 foot man listed.
He's a good player. But
he's more of a shoot guard.
He needs to learn that jump shot.
Yes.
But he's a jump shot away from being, okay, this guy's an all-star now. But the guy I want to slip in there is Tari Eason. Mm-hmm. I think
Good player.
I think he's a foundational piece. Obviously, I'm going to put him on the board on untradeable. But I'm asking for a lot of value for Tari Eason with this roster.
The Bulls tried.
I want when I went for Tari Eason for Kobe White. Sign me up. We ended up.
He's a great rebounder.
We ended up with Colin Sexton.
He's a really
like Tari Eason's
he's just
guy,
a perfect wing. Yeah,
he's that 3-and-D wing, and I like him more than Jabari Smith.
He's PJ Washington, but a bit more physical. That's what he is to that team.
I think he got a little more upside than PJ Washington.
Yes, of course.
But like he's a piece over there where he's a nice young roster over there where eventually Kevin Durant burns that bridge over there and he moves on to another team. But like those are some foundational pieces over there in Houston. Like,
no Sengun.
No, I'm telling you, man.
You don't like Sengun, huh?
He was my second.
He was your second, Şengün. I see him. I thought he was going to develop his shot a little more this year, but I didn't think he took that leap. Obviously, I think the biggest he doesn't have a point guard helping him out.
Yeah, that matters.
So I think that's a major factor. So maybe we haven't seen the full potential of a Şengün, but defensively, still I think pretty limited. His shooting is still limited, but you can put him up there.
ISO. Too. He's just straight ISO all the time.
Yeah, he's a black hole. Obviously, he's trying to be Jokic light, but I think he's a little farther than Jokic even more this year than last year. So I don't think he's developed with a Kevin Durant, which I'm not surprised.
Tari Eason. That's an interesting one. I'll keep mine short. I got Amen. I just think he's the glue to that team right now. And that partially is to Zoo's point about no point guard, right? I think he's filling that role. And I watch him and Eason a lot. I have them both on my fantasy team, so I watch a lot of Rockets games. And he's just fun to watch, man. And like he's a hustle guy. Like the only comparison I can make of him is he's just kind of a guard version of like a Sean Kemp. Like that's really what he is. He's a high flyer. He can score in the interior. He will move the ball when he has to, and he's an unbelievable rebounder for his size. But I just think Şengün is he's too much of a black. He's like, you know what he is? He's like Al Jefferson, man. That's what he is.
He's Jesus.
Right, he is.
That means it's the ceiling, man. If he's Al Jefferson, it's over.
Right, but yeah, I mean, Al Jefferson he was a quality
empty
player.
Calories.
Yeah, exactly. But my point is, I just don't see him. To your point, I think he's kind of hit his ceiling and his potential, his athletic ability, all that. His jump shot will be what saves his career, if anything. And then you got to let KD walk. Tari Eason is interesting, and I agree. He's a good player, but I don't think
develop. I think
because here's the thing,
numbers.
The Rockets have said the only player on their team that's untouchable is Amen Thompson. They actually came out and said that. They're like, we will not field any calls that ask for Amen Thompson. They would block the number, right? So, I think he's a clear cut, but Tari Eason's interesting, and I feel like they were fielding it, but it was going to be a rich price, man. It was going to be a rich price for a guy like Tari Eason. And even Jabari Smith. The Bulls offered Kobe for Jabari Smith, and they said no. So they hold a lot of their young guys in high regard. I just think Amen is a step above all of them.
I do think that Amen is the answer, but I think Şengün has another level if he had a legitimate point guard. Like if he had Chris Paul 5 years ago and he was his point, I think Şengün would be up there. I think it does matter with a big like him because Şengün's not bringing the ball up the court. Like with a big like Şengün, he can, but that's not his strong suit, obviously. Right. But if he had a point guard, I think he could be really, really good to where he could be one of the, I mean, nobody's Jokic, but he could be one of the better big men in the league because he is like when his rookie year, when he first got there, I think they were like, oh, this is a nice piece. We'll figure out how to deal with him. He'll be like maybe like a starter level guy who could maybe develop into something. And when I was just watching his game and was seeing like his ability to sit at the top post and make passes, crafty passes, like his footwork is unbelievable under the rim. Like he's a footwork demon. He knows how to get into your body, figure out shots, angles. He's good at that. He's shooting, I think, like 29% from three. So I'm not saying he's a 3-point threat, but I think if he has a legitimate point guard, I'm still taking him in, because it's just the athletic upside is insane. And like I said before the pod, if he can get to hell, I'll just say 28% shooting the three, he is all NBA. So it's like that type of talent. You keep figuring out until he gets a shot, and then he'll just take off. So it's obviously amen. But I wouldn't be mad at someone trying to argue Sengun, and that's if he had a point guard. Because I think what Tari is like, Tari and Jabari, like I agree, Jabari is what you pay for 3D. Like 3D is very valued in the league, so you're going to get a contract like that. And he's 6'10", so you just think eventually. I was always higher on him in the draft because I thought he showed some dribbling ability at Auburn, but he just didn't develop that at all, which is fine. Because if Jabari Smith, you're looking like, well, do I really need to develop the dribble if I can get paid $100-something million just to be a shooter and a defensive guy? Like, no, I'm good. I got $100-something million.
Like Duncan Robinson contract,
Yeah. So I'm good. But I think with Tari, I think he's also he's a way better player than Tari Eason's a way better player than Jabari Smith. But it's hard for me to envision. I think he plays his position very, very, very well, like what he does for that team. But like if I'm a GM, I'm asking for Sengun before Tari Eason. Like if I'm trying to build a team, I can get a bunch of Tari Easons. There's not a lot of guys like Sengun offensively, how he plays as a big.
But therefore, you can get a better price. That's why you.
And I think I'm going to build you can definitely get a better price. But I think if I get a point guard, like if he did, like, only have to be Chris Paul. Like if he just had like
Tyus Jones,
James Harden, if it was his point guard, I think he'd be a whole lot better because it's just James Harden knows how to pass.
That never happened. He ain't going back to the Rockets.
That never happened. He ain't going. Back
he
to
wanted
the Rockets,
to. He wanted to.
It's true.
I mean, who wants to leave Houston? Except for James, but Daryl Morey, I guess, was a part of that. So whatever. But
definitely,
was it Daryl Morey that was at Houston? Was it Houston when James Harden was there?
Mm-hmm.
He was.
Yeah, he went to Philly, and then he went to Philly.
So
yeah, I mean, obviously, it's just the number one. And to your point, people, they basically said he's off limits. So
I think we all know the answer to the Magic. Because I'm curious to see what you guys say about the Hornets. I think that's the.
So what's your answer for the Magic?
Hardest one, in my opinion. Did I cut off? Yeah, I definitely cut off.
No, I
was going to say the Hornets. The Hornets I'm interested in for who you guys would pick.
Oh, really?
Oh, for me, go ahead. Pete. Go ahead.
I got one mind, and for me, I think it was an easy option. I don't know.
Really?
If you guys have the solution. For me, it's the rookie Knicks. Knicks is shooting at a level that Steph Curry didn't do as a rookie. Knicks is shooting 8 threes a game at a 44% clip. That's ridiculous. He's shooting 44 at a 8 attempt per clip. Like, Knicks was putting him 19 points a game in dysfunction in the beginning of the year. In the beginning of the year, they didn't even know what they were doing right now. They were just running around. Like, I saw this Hornets team only one game. I'm like, this team doesn't even know what they're running right now.
Yeah.
And he was still able to be part of this offense and still become a massive contributor. And right now they got the chemistry going with all the young guys and start picking up a couple more wins now. But Knicks has been probably the most consistent player on that roster. Like, LaMelo Ball this year, having an off year. Like, obviously, LaMelo's always the injury thing. But if you look at him statistically, he went from 25 a game and 7 assists to now he's at 19-7 on 40% shooting. Like, LaMelo Ball has always been a low efficient
40%?
40% from the field. Like, he's a career 42%. So, but this year it's his lowest in his career. So he's going in the wrong direction right now. And LaMelo Ball, that's just what he'll be. He's a high volume guy that jacks up bad shots, but he gets pretty decent numbers as far as rebounds, assists. But talking about guys that he develops, I'm like, is this guy Devin Booker? Is this guy Klay Thompson? Like, he's in that prototype where he could do a little, because he's not just a shooter. Like, he got a little dribble game, like, in there. He's not just a catch and shoot guy right now. He got a little dribble game to the paint, and he plays with a little high basketball IQ and physicality. Where this guy loves basketball, and Cooper Fag loved this guy. Like, those guys are really, really showing out with this rookie class right now because you can insert Knipo on any roster. And he just kind of
seamless fit. Yeah.
Like he just one of the most versatile guys. He can play off ball, and he got a dribble game in there. So he's not just a standalone shooter. So that's what's exciting. Where then they really hit a home run with this guy as the 4th overall pick, And really, they really added a quality piece where I'm like, wow, you get this guy the 4th overall pick, and this guy's going to be an NBA guy for 15 years easy if he stays healthy because, man, this is rookie year. This is rookie year right now. He's a freshman coming in from Duke, and he's putting him 19 a game on 44% shooting from 3. I'm like,
almost a 50-40-90 season.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. His efficiency, man, 44% from 3, 49 from the field, and 89% from the free throw line.
That's crazy.
And he throw in a little 6 rebounds and 4 assists.
That's not bad. I did not expect the 6
rebounds. I'm like, and he has got good size, 6'6", 215. Like he's got that big guard, shooting guard. Like he in that Booker, Klay Thompson mode where this is the guy. This is a significant piece on your roster where, and I think he can develop defensively too. So I'm like, he's not going to be a slouch on the defensive end either. So I think he can be a 2-way 3-point shooter and with the dribble in this game. And a little creative.
I don't know if he reached Klay defensively.
No.
Like he could be like, I think he could be like how they talk about Jokic, like a step above on the guard. Like I don't think he'll be a liability, but I don't think he could be like Klay where he's locking up, your best guard. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, guarding point guards. Yeah, I don't know about guarding point guards.
He's not a liability. Right.
Yeah, I think he could be developing a really, really good defender and adding that shooting. Prototypical 3-and-D with a little more sauce on the dribble side. So
I agree. I had Con real quick, but Brandon Miller was another one that I considered because that's per reports. He's the one that they're not taking calls about right now. Obviously, they probably wouldn't take a call about Con because it's his rookie year, so it's just a different situation. But Brandon Miller is the other guy ahead of Bridges and ahead of LaMelo, which I think LaMelo just. Yeah,
Bridges is.
Man, he's just a better marketed Jordan Poole. That's exactly what LaMelo Ball is, man. Like I swear to God, he'll give you nights where you can drop 45, man.
He just did with like what? How many threes he have? 9 or 10 threes?
10 threes, man.
Against the Wizards,
and then he'll go and shoot 32% the next night. So it's like, come on, man. But I at the same time, I think you could still get good quality pieces back for a guy like LaMelo. Miles Bridges. And he got over his off-the-court issues, apparently.
That wasn't even in consideration,
Even in consideration. But my point is like they would take calls because he could still get some solid picks back. But, yeah, Brandon Miller, I thought, Zoo, maybe you'd lean him. But Con, I agree. His efficiency is just off the charts. And to be doing that with a dysfunctional organization like that where you're not the face, but you were still a 4th overall draft pick and be able to come in there, gracefully, for lack of a better word, and kind of take over the team a little bit, at least, kind of driving them in this second half of the season. It's been impressive. Yeah, I would definitely stick with Con, but Brandon Miller was the only other one I was considering.
Yeah, I was kind of – Charlotte was the interesting one where Con, I guess, is like the consensus right now, but I also wanted to stop myself and be like, part of me, I did want to stop myself because it's to your point. Like he's almost shooting 50, 40, 90. And I don't care if you're a rookie or if you're a 15th year in the league. That's just impossible. Not impossible, but it's so freaking hard to do in the NBA to where if you are to accomplish that, then the sky is the limit of what you could be. Like it's just the players that I don't know what the stats are with that, but the players that are doing that, they're one of the not all-time greats, but like they're like just in that tier of greatness. So I was like, obviously that's probably going to be the answer. Brandon Miller, when I was looking at it, is like, it really does suck that he got hurt last year. Because I do think if he played a full year last year, we're looking at this as like more so, okay, Charlotte, like early in the season, not like how they kind of started off bad and had to build their way back up. Like I think early in the season, they start faster. And they're hitting the ground running with Brandon and Con being like basically the 1-2 punch. But LaMelo, everybody talks about his immaturity. It's still an issue with just how he plays. It does feel a lot like people always make the joke is LA Fitness, is AAU basketball. If you watch him play, that's how it looks. It literally looks like that. Like he looks like he just woke out of bed and is like, yo, who's trying to run 1s, 2s, 3, whatever, and then let's just go play. And he's out there playing. But it's just with obviously you would rank it Con right now, even though I do want to kind of stop myself. It's his first year and it's like teams can adjust. And I think he can be a good defender, but it is still a little difficult for me to see like, so you're telling me like if Brandon Miller and LaMelo are gone, and they get back pieces, but you're depending on the Khan to be your number one guy, I'm not there yet.
I
don't think he's leading you to like a conference finals. I think he's a complementary piece that's like a really good 2. But if you're telling me I'm not, but like if you're telling me like I got to keep Khan and I'm trading LaMelo and Brandon, well, you better bring in another dude, because if you're depending on Khan to be your number one, then you're going to be getting bounced in the second round, because he's a really good player. But like you said, if you got a game plan for Khan, like he needs another complementary piece. That's why it's like Brandon Miller. If those were your 2 foundational pieces, now we're cooking, because like Brandon Miller is a guy. Yeah. Oh my God, like those 3 alone would be insane. But the only reason why I still, and I don't think it's ever going to get to a point where LaMelo just matures. I just think it's kind of who he is. It's just what is it, like 7? I think it's year 7. I want to see them get into the playoffs and actually like be in a matchup, not a play-in. Like I want to see them in the playoffs, because I just like LaMelo just shot making is just not. There's just not a lot of guys who can shot make like him. It's just not, and it's like I think his size, his creativity off the dribble, I just want to see it. And I think Khan, that's why Brandon Miller, but Khan especially, just his presence on the team has helped that overall team a lot. And I just want to see LaMelo in a space where he's in a playoff series and it's serious, and he's just not, a gentleman sweep or just a regular sweep. And there's like meaningful games, because that's just one of my like soft spots for guys. Like if you can be 6'7" like he is and shot make, and you can make 10 threes like he does, I'm just not just
writing him up.
That's why I think with those 3, like Hornets was the toughest one for me, because it's like, I don't know if I'm feeling the call on any of those guys. I'm not just letting one. Like if I get held, I think I might just have to dive. They're like, if you got to you can only keep one.
Take Miles.
Yeah, it's like take Miles. Like take whoever else. Like Trey Mann, you can take him. Like I was just like, I that is such a tough decision, because I do think all 3 of them uniquely, and I think LaMelo, if he gets to a moment, he is not shrinking. I think he would play his best ball in the moment, because he's been doing this since he's a baby. Like I don't think any moment he could shot for. We just haven't seen it because he hasn't been in that position. But with Khan being on the team now, and Brandon, I think they're going to be like, if they stay together, they're going to be in the like part of the, okay, we're in the playoffs now. So like we're going to see more opportunities, all 3 of these guys playing. Yeah. And I hated that they started so slow. And I think part of that maybe would have just been Khan getting used to being in the league, and then Brandon starting slow because he was injured. But like if Brandon was fully healthy, I think they would be in a way better seeding. And
LaMelo versus Cade, first round, 1 versus 8.
Oh,
that could be.
We're taking Cade. We're taking Cade, but it's I'm not shocked if it's a 2-2 series. Like there's too much talent on the Hornets, and it's not just those 3. Like they got other complementary pieces that are like you said. We're talking about Miles, the guy that got in a fight with Jalen Duran. Like he's a nice like centerpiece. Like they got like nice complementary guys around them where. If Miles Bridges is your 4th best player, you're cooking. Like, so, but so everybody with Orlando is Paolo
Banchero. Yes, of course. Yeah.
I'm not mad if somebody wants to argue Franz.
Franz, that was the only one.
I'm not mad though. I'm not mad if they go ahead.
Go ahead, Zoo.
Franz, I believe Franz is he's kind of a Band-Aid too.
Yep.
That's like the problem with I think it's like the problem with this roster. Like every time I see Orlando, Suggs out, Wagner out, like everybody keeps
Anthony Black, and that's it.
I'm like this roster just keeps getting injured or something. Like I don't know what's going on, but
you know what?
Like this,
I'm keeping Wendell.
Oh yeah.
I'm kidding.
A little nice little block.
But I'm looking at this roster, and they were one of the few teams that went all in after that Desmond Bane trade. That's an all-in trade. You don't go all in and you're tied with the Miami Heat, man. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just sorry. You're in the play-in tournament. You're with the playoff perennial contenders, Miami Heat and Atlanta Hawks, man. Bulls tanked out. They're no longer in the play-in. Hornets are in, but Orlando's in that category. Like, they have the same number of wins as the Miami Heat right now. And I'm sorry, that roster is just completely inferior to the Orlando Magic's team. Like Orlando, they got their draft picks. They got the number 1 pick. They won the lottery. They got the nice complimentary young players. You got Black, you got Wagner. You traded for Wendell. Those picks all turned out to be starter caliber players. Like you traded for the veteran 2-guard who's putting pretty good points. Like Desmond Bane's 18, 20 points, 3-point sniper, and he's a big time playoff guy too. So if you look at the roster on paper, 53% in the East, especially in the East. Yes. I got to add that emphasis because you get to play a Washington Wizards team multiple times. You get to play a Brooklyn Nets team, a Pacers, a Chicago Bull. So you get these opportunities to play these bad East teams where you can juice up your record a little while the West over there is just it's a Goliath over there. So you're in this easy conference where I pretty much had their win-loss record around where the Knicks are right now. We're like, they should be at 37 wins right now. And they're only at 30.
So high on this team.
So I'm like, this roster is completely underperforming. Paolo, obviously, if you look at his regular season numbers, he's having an off year.
He's regressing.
He's regressing.
I don't know what's going on.
He's having a rough regular season year where last year it was kind of his coming out party when he put up 26, 8, and 5. I'm like, dang, 26.
He was hurt last year too.
Yeah.
He missed almost.
He looks heavy. Like he looks heavy.
I
don't know if it's injury or what. Like he just doesn't look as.
I think I put injury on it a little, but
he just looks. I don't know, sluggish.
What makes me have faith in Paolo still is that every time I've seen this guy in the playoffs, his playoff numbers are ridiculous. Like I had to double check because I remember Paolo being good in the playoffs. I don't remember being that good. He's 28 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 42% from 3, which is a crazy good percentage relative to his regular season percentage.
Yeah.
And he's 45 from the field on high volume. So he's obviously the number one scorer. So I'll take 45% for a guy who jacks up 23 shots a game as the primary option and creator. But 28 points a game in the playoffs in his first 2. And they were against against the Boston Celtics one year, against Cleveland. Paolo putting up 28 a game. I'm like, I believe in this guy. He showed up at the playoffs. I've seen what I've seen, but in the regular season now, he's one of those. He's like the opposite of James Harden right now. We need
Jamal Murray.
Oh yeah. We need
playing possum, maybe. I don't know.
Exactly. I'm like, I need to get those points up a little more. I need to put some better numbers. I need your team to win some more because obviously your production is impacting your team winning. Because with more injuries, you got to step it up. You got to elevate your scoring. You got to rebound more. You got to get more assists as a playmaker. So, but based on his playoff performance, I'm like, I'm good. Paolo's the guy. He's the face of the franchise.
He's obviously the one there.
28 a game in the playoffs in his first 2 times. That is ridiculous.
Small sample size.
12 games.
Very,
is still
very
12
small.
games. It's 12 games.
True.
12 games.
I just brought the question up because I just don't like how Paolo, and it's because it's the regular season. I just don't like how he's looked so far in the regular season, considering everything that this team was built up to be.
Yep.
And I know it takes time for guys to ingratiate and mesh, but I mean, hell, we're 3/4 through the season. You kind of are what you are right now. You may have a slight tick up and going up or going down, but you kind of are what you are. And the teams are not changing because the trade deadline's over. So I've just been super disappointed in how Paolo has played this year. And it's made me look at is he he has the creativity, and that's what his, I guess, projection going forward is. He's basically a point forward. Mm-hmm. But it's because of how he's played this year, I'm just not angry if someone wants to argue maybe there's another level for Franz. And again, I go back to who is this team's point guard? It's I guess Paolo was your primary ball handler, but I don't know. Maybe in the perfect world, he's the secondary ball handler and they get a real point in there. But then it kind of maybe takes away from his ability to create. So
he's ball dominant.
Yeah, he's very ball dominant. And I wonder if maybe if this team, say Paolo was removed and they had just a really, really good point guard and Franz was on your wing. I think Franz could be a really, really, really good wing. And I mean, Franz is putting up good numbers this year too. I don't know. Obviously Paolo is the answer, but he's just he better kick it up in the playoffs. If they get in the playoffs where it's he's a top 6 seed, they better show and prove. Because if they, one and done, then I'm not mad at anybody trying to argue. Well, it's a debate between Franz or Paolo.
You can trade the whole team.
If you trade, go ahead.
I'll take Paolo if I'm the Bulls. I'll take him.
If you're Milwaukee and they offered Paolo for Giannis and you put Giannis on that team with Franz, and they just had whatever point guard, that team is going way farther. Way farther.
Oh, that would be an interesting.
Because him and Franz, Franz compliments Giannis, because Giannis is ball dominant as well, but he's proven and won a championship. So I think him and Paolo would be a horrible match. So like you put Giannis with Franz and just the rest of that team, which no trade in NBA is 1-for-1. But I'm just saying,
yes.
Like I think a lot of Magic fans would say, all right, cool. I don't think they're devastated if they lose Paolo if they got to keep Franz.
Really?
Yeah. If you get Giannis
That ain't
for like
happening.
4 years, that ain't happening. But if you get Giannis for 4 or 5 years, and you got Franz, like that's a window. Like that's a proven guy with another elite wing. You got Anthony Black coming off the bench. Like Jalen's, with that team, they would take that trade in a heartbeat. And Milwaukee would be dumb if they didn't make that trade. Like if that got offered to me, that's a win-win for both teams. You got a guy you can build
start
around.
fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really. I mean, I know they won't picks, but they don't have any. But I mean, and also too, you got Desmond Bane. Like, that would be a no-brainer. And Giannis is the what do you say? Like the NBA guy who's like just always in a great mood and just smiling. Like that's a perfect matchup for you want that guy at Disney, man. You want that guy running around in Orlando.
There you go.
Like, family man, got a bunch of kids. Like he literally is like the picture.
You'd have to trade the masses there too.
Just jolly, jolly G Wiz guys. Yeah,
jolly G Wiz.
Literally, that would be the perfect matchup. So, I just kind of want to get into some teams that we're all seeing right now that are trending towards possibly making the playoffs, and just looking at what conversations would be like if they were to get bounced early in the playoffs. So. Great conversation with the NBA as always. Like you said, we are basically March is next week. So I'll start getting into the space of conference tournaments, then transition into March Madness. So you guys tune in for that college basketball NBA talk. Unfortunately, won't be any master talk, but that's coming right around the corner as well. About to start seeing those commercials coming up and infiltrating if you watch CBS, it's always a commercial for that. Yep. But so we're going to be getting into all of the goodies with that. Make sure you guys are tuned in on Tyson Talks _ Instagram, Quantro Knows on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Give us a follow. Make sure if you give us a follow, comment, get us in the algorithms. And if you do write a nice comment, and if you have maybe a topic you want to talk about, I can get to that as well. And for me, Zoo and P. Bush, we are out.